Ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you one simple habit. A habit so powerful that if you start tonight, it can begin to change the direction of your life before the sun rises again. Now that may sound bold, but let me assure you, life does not change by chance. Life changes by habit. We all know that success is not something you stumble upon. It is something you design. And the design begins with the small disciplines you practice daily. So what is this one habit? It is the habit of reflection and journaling before you go to bed. Now don't underestimate it. At first glance, it seems too simple. But let me explain why it can transform your life. Every night, before you sleep, take a few minutes and ask yourself, what did I learn today? Who did I help today? Where could I have done better? And what am I grateful for? Then write it down. Not on your phone, not in your mind, but on paper. Because writing crystallizes thought. And crystallized thought produces clarity. See, most people go to bed with the television still talking, or with the noise of the world still running in their mind. They carry confusion into their sleep. No wonder they wake up tired, restless, and unfocused. But if you practice this habit, you go to bed with clarity. And when you go to bed with clarity, you wake up with purpose. Let me tell you something important. Discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. The habit of daily reflection keeps you disciplined. It keeps you on track. You'll start seeing mistakes before they grow. You'll catch opportunities before they pass, and you'll recognize progress before you lose motivation. Overnight, your mind begins to work differently. Instead of chaos, it starts to process wisdom. Instead of fear, it starts to build courage. And instead of dwelling on problems, it begins to focus on solutions. Imagine the compounding effect. One night of reflection gives you clarity for the next day. 10 nights of reflection build 10 days of momentum. 100 nights of reflection build a life of wisdom. So my friends, don't leave this habit to chance. Tonight, before your head touches the pillow, grab a notebook, write down what you've learned, what you're thankful for, and how you can be better tomorrow. Do it faithfully, and you'll begin to notice the shift, not in years, not in months, but literally overnight. The first key to changing your life overnight begins with clarity. Most people drift through their days without stopping to ask themselves important questions about where they are headed. They allow distractions, routines, and obligations to dominate their schedule, leaving no space for self-awareness. But real transformation starts when you intentionally pause at the end of your day and look at the choices you made. By dedicating a few quiet minutes to reflect, you give yourself the chance to evaluate your direction, correct mistakes quickly, and highlight progress that would otherwise go unnoticed. This simple act shifts your mindset from wandering aimlessly to moving purposefully. When you end the day with clarity, you start the next morning with intention, and intention is the seed of all achievement. The second key lies in the power of writing. Thoughts are fragile. They disappear as quickly as they arrive. Inspiration strikes in the shower, in a conversation, or during a meeting, and then vanishes within moments, if not captured. Writing them down gives permanence to your ideas and strengthens your ability to act on them. By keeping a journal and recording your lessons, wins, and insights each night, you preserve your experiences as a personal treasure chest of wisdom. Over time, these written records reveal patterns, show growth, and spark new opportunities you might have overlooked. Writing is not just about memory, it is about creating clarity in the present while building a roadmap for the future. The third key is gratitude. Life often feels heavy, not because of its demands, but because of the lens through which we view it. When you train yourself to recognize what went right, even in the smallest detail, you cultivate resilience. Gratitude transforms ordinary days into blessings and obstacles into lessons. By ending your day with appreciation, you feed your mind with positivity before you sleep. This habit ensures you do not carry stress into the night, but instead carry peace. Peaceful rest fuels energy, and energy fuels productivity. Gratitude is not only a pleasant emotion, it is a strategy for maintaining joy and balance while striving for growth. The fourth key is honesty with yourself. Reflection is not just about noting what went well, it is also about confronting where you fell short. Most people avoid self-examination because it can be uncomfortable, but real progress requires courage. When you identify areas where you could have acted differently, you give yourself the chance to make better decisions tomorrow. This habit of daily correction prevents small mistakes from becoming lifelong regrets. Success belongs not to those who avoid failure entirely, but to those who recognize it quickly and adjust without delay. Honesty sharpens your vision and ensures you walk forward with wisdom rather than illusion. The fifth key is momentum. Change does not happen in one dramatic leap, but through the quiet accumulation of consistent habits. A single night of reflection brings a slight improvement. 10 nights create noticeable clarity. 100 nights establish a rhythm that becomes second nature. With each day that passes, the compounding effect multiplies. Before you realize it, your life feels lighter, your mind sharper, and your choices more deliberate. What once felt difficult becomes effortless, because momentum carries you forward. Momentum is the invisible force that turns discipline into lifestyle and effort into achievement. The sixth and final key is action. Reflection without action is merely a comforting exercise. The questions you ask yourself, the insights you write, and the gratitude you express must lead to change in how you behave tomorrow. Take one small adjustment from your nightly reflection and apply it the next day. When reflection guides action, life improves continuously. This cycle of reflection, correction, and execution is what separates those who live by design from those who live by default. One deliberate action each day, guided by insight, has the power to transform your entire destiny. As we come to the close of this message, let me leave you with a thought that may stay with you long after the words are over. Life will never hand you transformation by accident. It will never reward you, simply because you wish for something better. The rewards come to the individual who builds habits that shape character, and character that builds destiny. All it takes is one deliberate choice to start a chain reaction of change, and tonight could be the very night you make that choice. Think for a moment about the countless evenings you have lived so far. Some of them were productive, others filled with distractions, and many perhaps slipped by unnoticed. But every evening carries within it a hidden opportunity. It is the bridge between your past and your tomorrow. How you end your day becomes the silent architect of how you begin the next. Most people treat this time casually, never realizing that the moments before sleep are some of the most powerful moments of influence you will ever have on your own mind. What you decide to carry into your rest determines the kind of energy you wake up with. If you fall asleep heavy with regret, cluttered with noise, or weighed down with unexpressed frustration, your subconscious holds on to that and shapes your next day from it. But if you end your evening with clarity, reflection, gratitude, and direction, you give your mind a script of progress. It spends the night working for you instead of against you. That is why this single nightly discipline has the power to reshape everything so quickly. Let us be honest with ourselves. Change is not difficult because we lack opportunity. It is difficult because we postpone. We keep promising that tomorrow will be the day we get serious. Tomorrow we will write our goals. Tomorrow we will exercise discipline. Tomorrow we will become more intentional. And yet tomorrow often becomes another yesterday. The truth is, the only time you ever own is now. You cannot rewrite last week, and you cannot predict next month, but you can take hold of this evening and choose to practice something that could alter the rest of your journey. You see, life responds to seed, not wishes. Reflection at night is the seed you plant in the soil of your mind. You water it with honesty, gratitude, and intention, and over time it grows into results that are visible for all to see. Do not underestimate the small beginnings. A seed is smaller than a stone, but given the right conditions, it can split concrete. That is the hidden power inside the habit I have shared with you. Think about the alternative. Without this discipline, your days blur together. Mistakes go uncorrected, lessons slip away, and blessings are taken for granted. You risk arriving at the end of a year without truly remembering what shaped it. But with this habit, every day has meaning. Every experience leaves a trace of wisdom. Every success, no matter how small, is captured and celebrated. Over time, this collection of lessons and gratitude pages becomes the story of your growth, written in your own hand. That story will not only inspire you, but also serve as a legacy for those who come after you. Do not wait until crisis forces you to change. Do not wait until regret is too heavy to ignore. The wisest path is to choose discipline before discipline chooses you. Life has a way of demanding growth, and if you resist, it will push you harder than you expect. But if you embrace this simple practice willingly, you meet life on your own terms. You lead instead of being dragged. You decide instead of being decided for. That is the power of intentional habits. Imagine yourself a year from now if you begin tonight. Picture opening a journal filled with hundreds of reflections, each page proof that you invested in your own development. Imagine the strength of perspective you will have, the sharpness of thought, the clarity of purpose. Instead of wondering how you spent your time, you will see exactly how you grew. Instead of regretting missed opportunities, you will recognize how many you captured. And instead of asking where the days went, you will celebrate where they brought you. But it starts with one evening. Not 10, not 100. Just one. Tonight could be the turning point, if you choose to make it so. Success is never a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. And the choice is often small, simple, even ordinary. Write down what you learned today. Write what you are thankful for. Write how you can be better tomorrow. That small act may not seem extraordinary, but in time it compounds into extraordinary results. Let me remind you, the weight of discipline is always lighter than the burden of regret. 10 minutes of effort tonight is easier than years of wishing you had started sooner. Regret is heavy. Discipline is light. Carry the lighter load. Train yourself to embrace the habit now so that later you will not be crushed by what could have been. I have seen people transform their circumstances completely, not because they suddenly found great fortune, but because they finally found great discipline, wealth, health, relationships, and fulfillment. All of these respond to the same principle. The principle is that small, repeated actions shape destiny. The world may look for miracles, but the real miracle is the power of habit. When you direct your habits, you direct your future. Ask yourself tonight, am I ready to take control of the direction of my life? Am I ready to stop drifting and start designing? Am I ready to trade excuses for discipline? Only you can answer. No one else can decide your destiny. No one else can build your habits. The responsibility is yours, but so is the reward. And if you are willing, you will discover something remarkable. With each evening reflection, your awareness expands. Your courage strengthens. Your perspective deepens. You begin to live by principle instead of by accident. You stop living merely to survive and start living to create. That shift is the difference between an ordinary existence and an extraordinary life. So let this be your invitation, not just to hear words, but to act upon them. Take tonight as the beginning of a new chapter. When you close your eyes to rest, let it not be with random thoughts, but with written clarity. Let it not be with scattered worry, but with gratitude, recorded. Let it not be with confusion, but with a plan for tomorrow. Do this, and you will rise with energy, focus, and purpose. And when someone asks you months from now what changed, you will not point to luck, chance, or sudden fortune. You will simply point to a notebook, and you will say, I began with one small habit, and it changed everything. So I urge you, do not let this moment slip by. Do not treat it as another talk, another piece of advice. Treat it as a decision. Tonight, start right, reflect, be grateful. Make tomorrow better because you designed it the night before. The journey of your new life begins in the quiet discipline of this evening. That is the one habit that can change your life overnight, and if you choose it, the results will not only surprise you, they will transform you. Thank you, and may your next chapter be the greatest you have ever lived. Remember this: success is not one big leap. It's a series of small, consistent habits. And this one habit of reflection will become the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. So tonight, take the first step. Don't just think about it. Don't just know it. Do it. Because as I've always said, what you don't act on soon turns into regret. Let tonight be the night you start, and let this one habit change your life forever. Thank you.